Hello, everybody. Thanks for stopping by Greg's Beer Reviews today. It's about that time. Let's go take that walk and see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer is Porter Culture. And this comes from Hops and Grains Brewing, and they're out of Austin, Texas. This was sent to me by Brandon C. Uh, this is not a big beer. This is only a 6.6. Let's see if it has it on the can here. It says culture is in the roots, and roots is the culture. Love to fuel the liquid, and liquid is to fuel the beer. Inspired by the greenest and green to be inspired. Is a time and place for everything, and everything needs a time. Hops and grain. Alcohol is 6.56 is what it's got on the can here. And no date on the bottom of it. But it is a porter. I would like to see them have it on the can somewhere. At least a vintage, and it does not have it. And we've got the government warning on the side here. And at the Hop and Grain Brewery, we know that good planets are hard to find. That's why we're working hard to save our own packaging, our beer in the most recyclable container on the earth, aluminum. And this is like I said, this is a mini keg, guys. Keeps the light from getting to it. And as far as a porter or a stout goes, it's a dark beer, so it's not like it's an IPA or a double IPA where the sun's going to get to it, or the ultraviolet light's going to get to it and skunk up the beer or anything. I used to be a bottle fan only and didn't care much for cans, but over time I have switched over. Cans are a way to go. Virginia doesn't do any recycling or give you money for recycling. Now, you can recycle your glass, but you don't get any money for that. Aluminum is a different story. You can save your cans, squish them, and then when you get a bunch of them, you can take them in and trade them in for money. And depending on what the market is on aluminum at the time, that's what you'll get. But I'm a big fan of canned craft beers. I really am. So it's a mini keg, guys. It's a good thing. And with the liners they've got in these cans now, you don't get that usually. You don't get that metallic taste and all that stuff like we used to a long time ago when they were just throwing them into plain Jane cans and stuff. So not a big beer, like I said, about 6.5%. Commercial description on this one. I don't have the IBUs listed here on Rate Beer or Beer Advocate. Let's step over to Untapped, and they have it at 35 IBUs now, guys. So, commercial description says dark, pleasing, sturdy, decorous, culture in the roots. Roots of the culture. Love the fuel, the liquid. Same thing I just read off the side of the can here, guys. So, we'll step over to the food pairing. Cuisine is barbecue. Cheese is earthy Canterbury Fontina. The meat is beef, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat. Glass for the pint, back or nine. Tumbler mug, style and side down. I'm going to use my favorite tulip glass, the solid beer glass. And it says here can be cellar for a long period of time. 6.5%. Don't know if I would sell that more in a year or two. But I don't know of anything that would deter you from cellaring it, though. 12-ounce can. Everything fit right into the glass here. Porter Culture. And Brandon, thanks again, my brother, for sending this to me. I cannot get these guys beer here in Virginia. I don't know what the distribution is for these guys out of Texas, or how big a brewery they are. They do need to put a date on the bottom of their cans, at least a vintage or something on there, so we know how old the beer is. My 2 cents. About a half a finger of head on that pour, over into the light. Just a little bit of red rubbiness around this thin part of the glass. Pretty dark right here in this big bold part. So let's get a nose on it. Rich roasted malts, some sweetness in there. I don't think they use lactose, it doesn't say. Caramel, toffee. Maybe a little bit of bittersweet chocolate in the nose. And some dark fruit. It's right out of the fridge, 40 degrees. I might get a little bit more on the taste, so let's taste it. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brandon. And the head is dissipated. It's just barely covering the top of the beer now. As I suspected, it's a little on the thin side. It's a porter, though, not a stout. The alcohol is very well hidden. Not getting any of that 6.5%. Very well made. Rich roasted malt. Maybe a slight hint of some licorice in there. Bittersweet chocolate. Nice sweetness on the back end. Very sweet on the back end. If I didn't know, I would say they did a little lactose in this, but it doesn't say that. But for the IBUs being only 35, very low. So you're going to get that sweetness a lot of times when the IBUs are that low. They didn't use a lot of bittering hops, so that sweetness comes through. Wow. It's very tasty. Very nice. Very well done. Would like to see a vintage on the can somewhere, guys, or some kind of dating on the bottom of it. That's the only thing I can say right now. So it's right out of the fridge, 40 degrees. Let me sip on it for just a little bit, and we'll come back and see where it ends up. All right, guys, I'm back. Sipping on it about 20 minutes or so. Went very well with the cigar I finished up. Ooh, got hiccups again. Went very well with the cigar that I was smoking, the Punch Bare Knuckle. Not a super heavy bodied cigar. Medium to full. Excuse me, I got the hiccups again. The beer is a little on the light to medium bodied taste. Rich roasted malt. Caramel, toffee. Maybe some hints of some licorice in there. Very easy drinking. Not a big heavy stout. It's got that heavy mouthfeel. If you're looking for that, this doesn't have it. It's a porter. It's a little on the lighter side. Very easy drinking. The alcohol is very well hidden. So with that being said, it's a very tasty beer. I just wish they would date their stuff. That's the only plus I've got about this, of having some kind of vintage or canned on dating system on the can. So with that being said, let's do the final chug. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Twice in one day. I'm reviewing this on the 4th of October, so very nice, very well done. A very nice porter. Rich roasted malt, caramel, toffee, hints of licorice, little bit of bittersweet chocolate, hints of some dark fruit, not a big hint. Very well done. Like I said, the only plus I've got is no kind of dating on the can. Would like to see them do some kind of a dating. Vintage, month, year, month, day, and year would be even better, but nothing on this. So, and like I said, these guys are out of Austin, Texas. A lot of these breweries choose not to have any kind of dating on it, which is fine for them, especially if it's flying off the shelves or they're standing in line at the brewery and everything is sold. But if it goes out to distribution and it gets to the shelf and beers like this get pushed back in the back, and you know you're coming into the beer store 2, 3, 6 months, a year down the road, and this beer's still sitting there, you have no idea how old the beer is. And being a porter, which is not like an IPA or double IPA or a low ABV lager or something like that, it's not going to be super critical, but still, you want to know how old the beer is you're drinking or buying. Just in case you want to buy this year's edition and next year's edition and do a vertical, or 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, do a side-by-side, like I do a lot of times, just to see what the difference is and how the beer ages, and see how more complex it gets over time. So that's why I fuss about the dating all the time, guys. No matter what the style of beer is, I want to see a vintage or a month and a year or something on the can or the bottle. We need to have that, and these guys need to realize that. The dating machine is just as important to me as the brew kettle or the head brewer. You need to have that information, and especially if this beer was here available in Virginia and I went into the beer store and I seen it and I picked it up and it had no date on the bottom of it, you know what I would do? I would put it right back up on the shelf. So they need to realize how important that information is, especially if you're buying a beer and you're spending your hard-earned money on the beer and you don't know how old the beer is. Even though the style may not be as critical as it is on the IPA or double IPA or a low ABV lager or whatever. We still want to see that. Still want to see that information. That lets us know how old the beer is in the can, and not some enjoyed by date or best by date or something silly like that. So that's just my 2 cents, guys. And y'all know I'm a date Nazi, and I harp on that all the time. I'm not going to be satisfied till I see a canned on, bottle on, date on every freaking thing that's produced. And I hate to see them have to pass a law to do that, but it may have to come to that. It really may have to come to that. As much as I hate to see it, and as many of the thousands of laws are already on the book, and half of them are half-assed, and your horse can't drink in a trough in front of this. I mean, a lot of the laws on the books are just so asinine. We need to have term limits on Congress. That's what we need. I don't want to get into the political thing, but we do. We have term limits on the president. We need term limits on Congress. These 30, 40, 50-year people that's in Congress, they need to go. They really need to go. The lobbyists have them in their pockets, and they're making thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Chaps my ass. I don't want to get into that, but the government sucks in this country. It sucks out freaking loud. Alright, guys, to me, if we had a little more information on the can, some kind of vintage or canned on date, it would get a better grade than what I'm going to give it. I'm going to give this the 7, which is a B+. Numeric rating on this would probably be a 88. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 86, in a very good range. It is a very good beer. I won't argue with that one bit. And over to Rate Beer says 92 overall, 93 in style. I don't think it's up to that category without having some kind of vintage or dating on the bottom of the can. So that's where I'm going to leave it. And over to our final check-in and Untapped, they have it at 3.8, which is their B+. Imagine that. We're in agreement. I think it's a B+ beer too. So with that being said, if you've had this one from Hops and Grain Brewing, and they're out of Austin, Texas, let me know what you think, guys. It's a pretty tasty beer. Just need a little more information from these guys. Tasty beer. If you've had it, let me know what you think. Come on back tomorrow. Let's take something tasty out of the fridge. See everybody then.